Shine Wild Pack, it's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Tarot reading for Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. For those of you that were at the live yesterday morning, thank you so much for hanging in there with the last of the tech drama. Again, no longer. I will only be broadcasting from YouTube. We'll figure out a way to get you all the link. Subscribe, if you will, just please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell so you can get the notifications. We will be setting up the lives and whatnot, so you will get notified of them when we set them up. So all of that said, you might notice if you were at the live yesterday, I'm wearing the same outfit I was wearing yesterday because I was told by Spirit to just keep the reading going from the morning. And at first I couldn't figure out why the Animal Allies wanted me to pre-record. But then when I shuffled and drew the card, it made total sense. So, you know, the Walrus, which is the Eight of Cups, has come out for you all today. And Wednesdays are bridge days, right? And they're governed by Mercury, which is the messenger from the heavens to mortal man. And it's a bridge day between the first of the week and the last part of the week. And so, when I took a good look at what the Eight of Cups really does mean, and so let me just show you. I don't know why I didn't think of this a long time ago, but this is the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card, Eight of Cups, and then this, of course, is the Walrus. So when we take a look at the traditional tarot card meanings of the Eight of Cups, what we'll see here is a fella who's walking away from 8 cups. And in the middle there, what it looks like is that one is missing, but if you count them, one is actually not missing. It's an illusion. So one of the things we talked about in the live yesterday, I kept getting this this overwhelming message that the folks that were joined, they're trying to get to something that they either from fear, flight, or freeze haven't been able to move toward, and most of them have a distinct notion of where they want to go, but are having trouble bridging the gap from inaction or moving through their fear or getting out of a place of being stuck to the actual moving ahead. So we talked about that. We talked about what the fears are surrounding each person's circumstance. And some people answered, and they were the usual fears that everybody has. Fear of visibility, fear of being seen, fear of rejection, fear of, not being this enough or that or much, or being too much this or too much that. When you take a good look at the Eight of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot, you see that what he thinks is missing is an illusion. And so today is a call that whatever you want to accomplish, whatever you want to do, and that can be anything. That could be, maybe it could be something as easy as this, or not as easy as this. Say you want to borrow a book from somebody, or you just want to go get a book. I don't know if in your area the libraries are open, but let's say, or a bookstore. And you really, really want this book, and you could order it from Amazon or any of the other booksellers online, but you really want to go to the bookstore for some reason. First of all, it's important to pay attention, because this was part of yesterday's reading also, or I should say this morning's reading, because I'm pre-recording this, but it's the paying attention to the small details. There's got to be a reason that your spirit is telling you to please go to the bookstore. Go to the library. There's a reason for that. Next, if you're ignoring that, or you just didn't see the small message, because this morning was about, one of the parts of the reading was about, you've got to notice the small things. The small things are trying to really slam on your consciousness and say, hey, I'm actually a big thing, but it doesn't appear with like fireworks, right? Okay. So that's number one. Number two, whether you're just not hearing it or you're ignoring it, why is that? Why are you resistant to going to the library, the bookstore, the whatever, and yet you still haven't bought the book on Amazon? And what Walrus would have to do with this is, working in tandem with the Eight of Cups. they're very comfortable in the water. Walrus are like seals, they're like otters. They're very comfortable in the water. And actually their name means horse whale is what walrus really means, the etymology of the name. So always when I see walrus come up for someone, especially as the Eight of Cups, I see it as a time that you've got to really make a decision. And Wednesdays are great days to do that because it's the before, the between, and the after. And we're in the between time, right? We're sitting on a fence. And I just also keep hearing in this song, I keep hearing the songs, Living on a Prayer. Living on a prayer. I'm not going to get all hairband up in here this morning. And that was a really bad karaoke version of Living on a Prayer. But I keep hearing that song, and it's important that you take a look at the lyrics of that song. It's going to have to do with you today. I forget which hairband put it out, but it's Living on a Prayer. And that's going to help you bridge the gap between, and we're just going to keep using the book as an example. Why you haven't moved forward to go to a bookstore to buy the book, why you haven't moved forward to go to Amazon or do this or do that, and why you're ignoring the small signs that are telling you need this book. Here's what Walrus suggests to me. You're not, because whatever you're headed toward, whatever you know you want to do, you're resistant to it, even though you know at the core of your heart or the core of your spirit, deep down, if y'all ever saw the movie Hitch with Will Smith, and he finally confesses his love at the end of it, and he's got all these feelings right down in this area, and he says it just like that, just right down in this area. It makes me laugh every single time. It's such a darling rom-com. I love that movie. Of course, I love Will Smith. He and I are gonna be married one day. I'm certain of it. Him and Dwayne Johnson. So, although Paul Giamatti is my fantasy love of all time, the guy's the greatest actor on this earth. Second maybe, but they bounce back and forth in my estimation between Tom Hanks and Paul Giamatti. Not that you needed to know that, but I thought I would share. So I will say that it is incumbent upon you. You're not going to be able to move forward until you turn around and take a look squarely in the eye of what this is that is kerfuffling you, because you've got a sense that something's missing, and you're using escapism to so that you're turning around and you're walking away rather than walking toward what you want, because you might have to deal with some psychological issues or concerns. When you take a look at the cups being in the foreground, they represent the emotional issues. And you'll see the card up on screen, but it's also, when you take a look at the water, next to the cups, you'll see that he's seemingly, symbolically, this fella has turned his back on the cups because he's got a sense of disappointment. Like, he's not feeling fulfilled. Nothing is making him whole. But the thing about it is, are you throwing the baby out with the bathwater? Are you just cutting and running before you really give your dreams? And lack of motion is cutting and running. It absolutely is. And so, that being said, when you are just willing to go, you know what, I'm done here. That is why the Kabbalists call the Eight of Cups the Lord of Abandoned Success. When you take a look at Walrus, and you take a look at what Walrus really can mean in so many different ways, it's about finding, not even finding, but deliberately moving to the place where you're not most comfortable or safest, but the element that resonates with you the most. For instance, I have in my life tried to work real people jobs. I have. I was a server at Red Lobster for a couple of years, way when I was a kid. I was a bartender. I mean, that's a job I did off and on for a long time. I enjoyed bartending, but I certainly did not want it to be a career, because it's really not a career so much as it's a lifestyle. And, that wasn't for me. And then I think, one time I tried to work when I was really a kid, like 18 years old. I tried to work at Walgreens once, and then I tried to get a real person job at a mortgage company here in Gainesville when I first moved back from California. I I'm just going to say it for what it was. I would rather lay down and die. No hyperbole, no joking. I'm not making bigger of a situation than it really was. I would rather lay down and die if I had to clock in and clock out somewhere. I would. It is not for me at all. And it sucked the life right out of me. There were a number of you in chat yesterday, or this morning, I should say, that are really having a tough time figuring out how to transition from what you're currently doing into what it is that you really want to do. And that's a real normal kind of thing. A lot of people go through that. But the point is that they go through it, and you're not going through it. I saw a lot of language that was like, I can't, I didn't, I don't know, I this. Okay. When you state, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of deliberate communication, where you don't use those terms. You don't breathe life into those terms, because it's really like saying the great I am with a qualifier. I am afraid. I am stuck. I am this. I am that. I am not this. I am not that. That's a declaration that you're making to the universe. Don't do it. And it's tough. I've been really working hard to eradicate the word understand from my vocabulary. And it's tough. I gotta tell you, this is a tough transition. But Walrus can teach you how to make these transitions a little more gracefully, meaning to a walrus, they're not clunky on land. It's just how they are. They're not going to watch, a horse galloping by and think, gee, I wish I could gallop like that. I don't know that they don't, but I'm going to suspect that they don't. But they're not afraid to come on land. They know they have to. And that's where the difference is what do you have to do? What can you not live without? Whatever you're working toward. And again, this may be, I want a certain kind of pizza tonight. Okay. It can be as much as I literally want a complete do-over of my life. Okay. Let's do it. You are perfect in this moment. So perfect. And tomorrow, when you've decided to do better, you will do better. But please put some trust in not being willing to just cut bait and walk off. Don't do that. Sometimes we get so far removed from what we want because of our fears about moving forward with it. We pretend like it doesn't matter to us anymore, and nothing could be farther from the truth. My client base is filled with people who aren't happy where they're at, or confused or afraid or uncertain, or, all of those things. I mean, sometimes people come to a psychic medium shamanic journeyer when they're happy. Sometimes they just want confirmation that they're headed in the right direction. I do it. I have two people that I go to. And when I'm thinking about making a really big move, when I'm like, not sure about this, I call them and they're right every time. Every time. Now, one of them is not a professional reader. The other one is Corby Mitlide. You guys have seen us probably joking online. She's my soul sister. She's a great tarot flipper. And so, all of that said, it's time. It's time to turn around and take a look at your cups and realize nothing's missing. Nothing's missing. It's a false paradigm. Abandoned success. You're almost there. You're almost there. Get it together. Get it together and go the distance. It will be okay. It will be okay. Go the distance. So I hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the bell ringy dingy to get the alerts. And for goodness sake, get on over to the fabulous forums. My forums, because we weren't going to take any of the social media shenanigans anymore. I just created my own forums. La la la. Because that's how we do it here in the South. If you want something done right, by God, you got to do it yourself. And so I did. And those forums are wildpackwisdom.com/forums, wildpackwisdom.com/forums. Everybody, say it with me. What's the most important thing? To do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.